This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Tiki Turmoil, aka Walrus Nightmare, in the north as the yellow Steel Talons. This is MasterLeaf. And in the south as the red Black Hand, this is Space, aka Poise, but I'll be referring to him as Space. Tiki Turmoil, you got your little cutout for your blue Tiberium. You've got 3 green Tiberium fields. This map, has produced a number of very good games. Although, to be fair, I've only seen, like maybe a dozen games on this map. So maybe I just have seen all of the best games that have taken place on this map. Relatively new map, all things being said. I think this is like maybe like a 2019 or a 2020 map, something like that. At any rate, Black Hand versus Steel Talons. Once again, this is 1.03. I didn't bother checking which test version this is, so whatever you see here today may be changed, but this is still the relatively super-powered Steel Talons, especially compared to how badly they used to... Ooh, okay, here we go. We have kept our Hand of Nod, and we have an Operations Center, so Reckoner Rush, but what is he going to be producing out of the Hand of Nod? Because he's got it powered down, he unpowers it there, and he just sells it off, so actually it was just a delayed sell of the Hand of Nod. A single Black Hand squad, so is there another Operations Center? Yeah, okay, there we go. Second Operations Center is out, there's the sell-off, there's the second Black Hand squad. So yeah, there was the Hand of Nod was literally nothing. Now, MasterLeaf, it looks like he hasn't quite spotted this. His scouting squads have indeed been pushed back, at least for now. I like these little, wind indicators. I don't know what you would call them, but like a windsock on an airfield. That the wind picks up and then it disappears. That's a nice little detail. Anyways, we got a Flame Rush on the way. This is going to be very exciting, this Flame Rush. It's going to be more exciting than a windsock on an airstrip. But is it going to be more exciting? I don't know. We'll find out. Pitbull does indeed see this. This is about as late as you can see a Flame Rush. This is about as much health as I have ever seen a Reckoner arrive inside of the base. It gets planted in the perfect position. The only better position is if somehow it could reach both refineries, but it's definitely going to get the one war factory. And now the Titan is out, so this will deal with this relatively quickly. Oh, and actually the Orca Strike comes in, so this refinery will actually survive, albeit barely. It is very low on health, and these Black Hand squads are going to be able to get up close and personal before they get crushed by these harvesters. Leaf has dealt with this pretty darn well. He's lost the war factory, so he's behind in that sense, splitting the fire between the refiner and the harvester. I don't know if that's the best case scenario, but trying to crush these units, infantry units, when they are that close to the building can be actually quite difficult to do, to get all of the clicks just right. Nice silo placement. It does save the refinery in this case. This is severely delaying any expansion refinery, but we had the command post. We have the airfield coming on out. AP ammo. I almost said anti-air ammo, which wouldn't make any sense. AP ammo has just finished upgrading, so we do have charged up hammerheads, which are going to do additional damage. However, we should note that, yes, this delayed Leaf's expansion, this delayed his plans. This also has pretty severely delayed Space's expansion as well. He was out there controlling his Black Hand squads. He has now purchased the Black Disciple upgrade, so all of these guys are now loaded up with that crucial Flame unit, which gives them so much additional power, as you guys all know. Everything else from that point forward is looking fairly standard. We got 6 bikes roaming around the map, 4 of them up there, 2 of them here by the war factory, and a couple of other Cabal squads just running around the map, seeing what they can see. Airfield actually gets sold off, so this is very curious. I'm guessing there's an engineer inside of this Ox transport. Yeah, combat engineer, I assume, for this tip spike? Maybe he's got different plans for it, but okay, yeah, he's just going to not go for a tip spike steal. He's going to do something else. I don't know what his plan is for this engineer. Battle marker over there is actually nothing. Bikes are going to get a couple of shots off on this Ox Transport. And I mean, Ox Transports are pretty speedy. You don't think of them as speedy, but they are fairly speedy, all things considered. And now he's just going to grab the tower. So he determines it's a little bit too dangerous to try and go for the Tibbs bike. He instead is just going to get the tower. So he's going to get 2 bikes for this. The Guardian Tower, the Guardian Tank, the Guardian Cannon, did get one of them, and the defensive tower will get the other one. So MasterLeaf, I guess, is okay in that sense. This has been such a weird opening for this game. Things are starting to get into a normal place. We've got 2 refineries on the expansion for Space, 1 refinery, and a second war factory on the expansion for Leaf. Things are looking fairly normal. Bunch of Wolverines running around the map. Of course, AP ammo was purchased a long time ago, so all of the Wolverines are fully upgraded right from the get-go. We didn't have any Wolverines trying to do battle without AP ammo. And that Cabal squad will eventually get cleaned up. Leaf does save his tib spike, which over time that will be a big benefit. Right now it's not necessarily a huge deal. Laser turrets out here on the map. How about that? They eat up one of those Wolverines with the help of those rocket squads. Second War Factory now out on the field, and of course this is a little bit of a difference between Steel Talons and Black Hands. Steel Talons going for the faster Second War Factory, but of course not keeping the barracks around for as long or producing as much from the barracks, whereas Black Hand depending much more on that infantry man spam, depending much more on just a single War Factory and the barracks instead of the dual War Factory play. And the difference between these factions, we can see their third base could be on the docket soon. We don't have any tech up on our way from Space. He is up to Tier 2. Of course, he did keep the secret shrine around, at least for now he has. A lot of players will sell that off after they get the upgrade, and then just move on to after that. That defensive tower got an engineer to repair it, which is quite curious. I assume the engineer was actually fated for this defensive tower, but MasterLeaf decided to keep this guy around. We saw him produce that engineer a minute ago. Now he's actually going for Grenadier squads, which again, kind of curious here for our Steel Talons player, going for 3 Grenadier squads. 2 Titans hanging out next to this Guardian cannon. They're not taking part in this assault, and these Grenadiers will help MasterLeaf deal with the infantry spam, but he also has so many Wolverines, so it's not like he necessarily needed the Grenadiers, but they are definitely going to help out in dealing with all of this infantry. Double laser turret now out on the field. They do get targeted down fairly quickly here, but the Titans aren't here in good numbers. Keep in mind there are a couple of Titans back home. A couple of flame tanks actually going to be heading in north, so that's very curious. A third flame tank here in the south, so lots of flames going on. Orcas now also responding to the front line of the battle, but the flame tanks are going to be able to get the war factory for sure. Power plants, also potential targets for the war factory, or for the flame tanks in the main base. This flame tank over here did almost go down to the Titan, but it actually is going to get some nice damage off on this refinery, almost taking the refinery down. It actually does kill the refinery with the last breath. Both of the power plants going down. The third power plant upgraded as well is going to be eliminated, and it looks like MasterLeaf is continuing to push forward over here on the left side of the map. Space pushing forward over here on the right side of the map. That flame tank will eventually go down, but it looks like it got the airfield as well, and everything from Leaf is just getting annihilated. These flame tanks being so incredibly effective. The war factory barely survives. That's a fully heroic flame tank. Too bad it doesn't have the purifying flame upgrade. That stuff would have been roasted so much more quickly. Leaf's army has fallen, and he is going to be fighting from such an awkward position. Look at all of these harvesters. 5 harvesters full of Tiberium, 6, 7, soon to be 8, and 9 harvesters full of Tiberium. No refinery. That is almost 14,000 credits worth of Tiberium sitting in those harvesters doing literally nothing. Oh my gosh, never has there been so much just cash waiting to be banked. And I think these Orcas, if the Orcas don't have a place to land, then and they have no ammo, then their health slowly drains. So some of these battle markers are infantry standing in Tiberium, and some of the battle markers are this Orca slowly dying over time. Unfortunately for MasterLeaf, he may end up losing that Orca, and this game is Space's to win. He took some losses on the front end, but he has completely reset. Not completely. MasterLeaf, well, no, it looks like he did actually sell off his Tier 3 to get out the refineries. He sold off his War Factory and his Tier 3, so a huge reset of MasterLeaf. For a moment there, he had his War Factory and his Tier 3, but oh my gosh, this engineer could not be worse fated. What is he doing? He's attacking a Cabal squad with an engineer. What are you doing? There's the zone troopers hanging out from the sold off Tier 3. What is this engineer doing? I genuinely don't know. The Orca did end up going down. Very unfortunate there for MasterLeaf. But absolutely, this is Space's game to lose. Normally, you do not see flame tanks do that much damage, but MasterLeaf's entire army was pretty much on the other side of the map attacking, and Space just found the perfect opening to gut MasterLeaf's base. MasterLeaf making a run for the blue Tiberium, definitely a good choice considering how many harvesters he has to the sheer number of refineries he has. He has so many harvesters queued up and ready to unload Tiberium. Needs to go ahead and send some of them over to that extra refinery that just opened up. Space also stealing some of that blue Tiberium. Long distance harvesting usually is worth it, and definitely worth it for MasterLeaf. Space up to a big Scorpion tank armor. He's got Dozer Blades, but of course he's Black Hand, so he doesn't have laser capacitors. So as the game goes on, as we potentially have more Railgun Titans, or we have Railgun Titans just at all, those Scorpion tanks are not necessarily going to scale very well into the late game as Steel Talons gets better units and more options to deal with those Scorpion tanks. Very sad here for MasterLeaf, going to be losing that Harvester half loaded up with blue Tiberium. It looks like this Combat Engineer is finally going to find his calling in capturing that Tib Spike for Leaf. Leaf now controls both of the Tib Spikes and one of the defensive towers. He probably wishes he finally had grabbed that other one. Oh, he will grab it just in the nick of time here. It'll get off one, maybe two shots as this army passes. Actually, it'll probably get off more than that. And it'll also distract this army, buying MasterLeaf even more time. If he stops to kill this Tib Spike, that'll just give MasterLeaf even more time as he transitions into this double airfield play. He's got so much cash to burn. Bikes may actually catch this MCV. No, it does redeploy just in time. This Titan and this Wolverine here to stop that little assault of Bikes. Hammerhead's here on the front line, but this is a ton of infantry here to just spew rockets forever against this Steel Talons force. Scorpion tanks going in for the crush. A good move there by Space, but railguns inside of this Heavy Harvester, and the Heavy Harvester, one of the scariest units in 1.03, because that is how this patch works, is it makes Harvesters with Zone Troopers so incredibly effective. We've seen Drive use them incredibly well in the past. This entire army evaporates to the superior firepower of our GDI force, and somehow that Harvester actually survives. The Watchtowers do manage to clean up those last couple of Scorpion tanks before they get the kill on that Harvester, and that was most of the army of Space. And this is the question that a lot of people ask, which is, how does Black Hand finish out the game? Black Hand is very powerful sometimes early in mid-game, but if you don't make the Purifier transition, if you don't utilize some of your late-game options, then as you scale into the late game, Black Hand can have real problems closing out the match. In this case, Hammerheads are going to get lots of free damage on these Harvesters. The Harvesters aren't being pulled. For some reason, Space is just letting them die. He thought maybe his Mantises would respond a little bit more quickly, but this is a lot of Hammerheads to deal with these Mantises. He's still not pulling his Harvesters for some reason. He let 3 of them die before he bothered to pull them away from the damage that was killing them. I'm not sure if Space was maybe looking somewhere else. I mean, he was sending the Mantises to respond, but he just did not pull his Harvesters, carelessly giving them away in that case. Riflemen now going to be shooting out the Mantises and dealing with them in that way, pushing them back a little bit there. Bikes cutting in for Space. He's coming in and attacking through the north. He is going to be able to kill this Harvester. Leaf tried to pull it, but he realizes at the last second there's no hope that that Harvester is going to survive those Bikes. Tibcore missiles would be a nice upgrade to see, considering how many of the units would benefit from it. He is getting some kind of an upgrade. Space is strapped for cash. So he's got a little bit of a Tiberium in that Harvester, but losing these Harvesters full of Tiberium out here definitely was not a good thing. MasterLeaf has been able... What? Okay, he called for transport? Okay. He called for transport on 3 Rifleman squads. I don't know. Space reclaimed this Tib Spike, by the way. Or claimed that Tib Spike, I guess, for the first time. Looks like Tibcore has been upgraded. No charged particle beam just yet for a lot of these units. And, well, that Tib Spike is going to go down. Now, that's the thing, is once you get into this Purifier phase, you've got very few Purifiers typically, but they can do incredible damage if you can get them on top of your opponent. What are these Ox transports doing? 2 Harvesters from Space going to be stealing this blue Tiberium here in the north of the map as MasterLeaf reestablishes his expansion up in his original main base. These harvesters still dancing around. This one got pulled off the line for repairs a while ago, and MasterLeaf just has not put it back to work. A little bit of a mistake there from MasterLeaf. A little bit of a thing that I would definitely do is forget to send your harvester back to work after you pull it off the line for repairs. Space is doing the same thing that he did last time. He's putting sort of all of his eggs in one basket. He's got this main frontal assault. Yeah, he tried to swing around into the north with the attack bikes. He should have, had 5 or 6 attack bikes queued up, hanging out over here. Then when he pushes in here, when the hammerheads are trying to deal with the army down here, then you push in, you click down all of the harvesters, and you try and deal with it that way. Otherwise, the bikes just swing in. As you see, the hammerheads were able to deal with the bikes no problemo. And the hammerheads can now do whatever they want. They can fly around the map. They can target down this Tib spike. They can return to the south to help respond to this army. But you don't have any kind of a 1-2 punch. And with Defender's Advantage, I mean, this is a powerful army from space, don't get me wrong. But with Defender's Advantage, do we have Tier 3 radar jamming missile going off there? No Tier 3, I don't think, from MasterLeaf. This is a little bit unfortunate for MasterLeaf that he does not have railguns. It's going to make this attack a bit more difficult. Holograms most likely going to be used to absorb a lot of damage, and just one of those things that you can... Ooh, this Titan is way out of range. So no upgrades for these Titans. Ooh, this is a lot of blue tib. This is like a full load of blue tib in these harvesters. He decides to do the dangerous thing and send it next to this army. Anyways, the army is actually going to let these harvesters escape. He's not diving on that harvester. Great move by Space. Repositioning his MCV, bringing these SAM sites to the front lines is definitely a good thing to do. Also, the double hand of Nod right onto the front lines here. He repacks his MCV, and he's going to move it even closer to MasterLeaf's base, so I assume he can start pushing with obelisks or something. MasterLeaf is now going to be looking for an opportunity to catch some harvesters. These harvesters are not the ones that narrowly escaped a minute or two ago with this blue Tiberium in the north. We saw that happen as Space's harvesters snuck by. Here's the assault. The Titans and everything for MasterLeaf evacuate from this base. He is not even going to try and fight this. He is just going to slow this army down with a couple of watchtowers, but he is not going to fight this. He is going to go for the base trade. This is almost exactly what we saw him do in the previous game that I casted of MasterLeaf, but in that game it was a wormhole that got him to the other side of the map, and Space is just going to evaporate this entire base, no problem at all. MasterLeaf has kind of allowed Space to walk away from his anti-air, which may give an opportunity for the Hammerheads to do something, but this is still just a massive, massive army, a huge force with such base-killing potential. All of those flame units attached to basically everything that Space owns is just going to evaporate any building or unit that stands in their way. MasterLeaf is very spread out, and he has moved his MCV, so these guys are going to do a little do-si-do as they switch places. MasterLeaf goes to the left, Space goes to the right, and he even drops an operations center as his army continues to just push further and further north. Titans eliminating that refinery. Purifiers and rocket squads going to eliminate everything here in the north, going to just disintegrate that harvester as it explodes in just a quarter of a second as all of this million rockets impact at the same time. This would be a great time if you had stealth to try and sneak something out to get these harvesters to sneakily do some harvesting or something like that, but since it's Black Hand and Steel Talons, no stealth at all to be had. 2 power plants go down and a surveyor. He's going to put a sneaky outpost somewhere on this map. 2 harvesters with, I assume, blue Tiberium for MasterLeaf. This could actually be his saving grace. He's looking desperately for anything that Space has. He spots the operations center there in the south, and actually a refinery now getting established by Space with a decent amount of Tiberium here. It's a small field regrown. This Purifier going to be making its way back down to the south with the army. What a bizarre game this has turned into. MasterLeaf versus Space. Steel Talons versus Black Hand. And oh, these Mantises! No, Space, no! Oh, he saves one of them narrowly there. He gives away the other 2 Mantises. Dude, you got to keep those around when you have got The Mantis actually goes down there. I'm not sure what actually got the final blow on it as these Titans were closing in from the north. These Titans were here in the south, but you got to keep those around because of the Hammerheads. The Hammerheads present such an opportunity for MasterLeaf, mobility, and actually a second operations center gets rebuilt up here in the north, but the mobility and the agility that they have to dart around the battlefield and put out pretty good DPS against buildings, and then just skate on out of there. MasterLeaf, did he ever pull these Harvesters? No, he's still got those Harvesters there in the south. A little bit forgotten about. You can't blame him with all the craziness that this game is, with all the madness that this match has turned into. 2 SAM sites powered down, and Space is going to move his MCV. He's harvested what he can, and this is exactly why you need the Mantises. This is why you need mobile anti-air to respond to those Hammerheads. They almost get a free kill on a Purifier, and these Harvesters are just going to be, I imagine, sent north to grab all of that green Tiberium. And actually, these tip spikes have kind of turned into fairly dense Tiberium fields. Not a lot of Tiberium, but it's a pretty small area. It could be grabbed up by 1 or 2 loads of a Harvester. And this field has actually regrown pretty nicely. If Space realizes that, it might actually be worth it moving his MCV down there. Although these Titans in the south are definitely making him a little bit nervous, and the Hammerheads as well. The entire armies turn north. Are we going to see the final clash? APMO watchtowers being constructed beforehand, and if MasterLeaf can draw this fight out, then he can work down the infantry army. Part of the problem of dealing with this army is the incredible damage output that it has, so drawing the battle out, just slowly whittling away these Black Hand rocket squads is going to favor MasterLeaf greatly. If you can isolate the Purifiers, you can actually deal with them without too much trouble. You know, you can use your Titans to dance with them from afar, while the Hammerheads deal unmatched damage to them from the skies. But that rocket army is so much more difficult to deal with. Now Space is establishing base defenses directly onto the front line. Space Force steps forward. MasterLeaf with a desperate defense. He should be able to hold the line, washing upon the rock like water as Space's army just evaporates as soon as he steps into range of all of this Steel Talons firepower. This is an ill-fated attack. He held off too long, and with the defender's advantage, MasterLeaf should be able to just crush this army. The Hammerheads come forward. They're going to be tanking a lot of damage from those SAM sites, as also the rocket squads clean up the skies, but there's still watchtowers and Titans here on the ground. MasterLeaf starting to step forward. He needs to engage with the watchtowers, and these Titans are falling one by one as a heroic rocket squad. He actually puts out a decent amount of damage to heroic rocket squads. He needs to just work a little bit further back. MasterLeaf, the Titans evaporate, and Space reclaiming some of these husks. The Purifiers are the only thing standing, but now they can close ranks on the watchtowers. Can he actually close ranks on the watchtowers, or will they just eat him away from afar? These Harvesters getting targeted down. The Purifiers stepping forward. There goes one watchtower. Space steps backwards. He lets the Harvesters go, at least for now. And Space has done it. The entire infantry army is gone. Only the Purifiers remain, but there are no Titans to dance with them. There are no Hammerheads to deal damage from the skies. It's just Purifiers and Engineers to instantly revive them. Reinforcements from Space coming in. He should be able to stop the flood of infantry that MasterLeaf was trying to go for there. He needs to grab this last Purifier husk. He needs to jump inside of it with an Engineer. Actually, there was 2 Purifier husks. The MCV is gone. MasterLeaf has been defeated. The fire sale, all but the power plant, have gone down, and MasterLeaf will lose this game to Space after a weird base trade swap of sides. It all comes down to that last battle in the north. MasterLeaf not able to isolate those Purifiers so that he could deal with them one by one. Space able to come out victorious in a pretty great match on Tiki Turmoil. What a great Black Hand versus Steel Talons. Someone in the comments, pour one out for Steel Talons. Complain to me about how Steel Talons always loses. Wow. This is pretty common, you know, unit kill to death ratio to be way in the favor of whoever's not playing Black Hand, but 2.13 to 0.47, that's pretty hefty. and 30,000 credits of advantage for MasterLeaf. And yet he couldn't turn that into a win. Man, that was just so much cash that he had waiting around in those harvesters. What a bizarre game. What a great match to see here in Kane's Wrath. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sybert signing out.